If you've been watching my videos, you've been hearing me talk about spatial sense and spatial awareness and how that relates to playing the guitar. And this definitely falls under the category of stuff that I feel like I have to qualify in pointing out to you why it's relevant and why it's important. This is based on a working hypothesis I have that our whole mental picture of how we move when we play the guitar is actually askew. My working hypothesis is that we think of the guitar like it's in front of us and that we move in two dimensions. The left hand goes this way, the right hand goes that way. I don't think any of those perceptions are accurate. First of all, if I have the guitar straight in front of me like this, then when I go to play, I'm already twisted because my right hand is almost reaching across my whole body. My shoulders are out of whack, and it just feels awkward. My left hand is hanging out here in the breeze. Where the guitar really wants to be, I think, is over here, sitting against my right side. That puts my shoulders in a better place already, but look what that does. Now the plane of the guitar, instead of being parallel across my chest, is oblique, going out this way. Well, this isn't a bad thing because when I extend my left hand to play a chord, here I am, which is much more natural than out. Like this, the guitar neck doesn't need to be out here. It needs to be right in front of me. This is one reason why I really prefer to use a strap all the time, because that's going to hold the guitar in a consistent place and my hand can reach for it and the neck isn't really moving around. It's right where I want it to be. In terms of this hand, excuse me, this little turn, having the plane of the guitar neck going that way, also puts the strings in a better position for my strumming hand. And consider that your strumming hand never really does this. Your body doesn't move in straight lines. It's not meant to. And look what that does to my shoulder. It rolls it forward. But if I'm over here, now when I swing my arm, instead of down, up, which if you're doing this as you sit here watching me, you will notice how much work is going on in these muscles up here in your arm. What I want is to do this. Fly lands on your hand, you shake it off. It's that. The pick, whether I'm using a pick or not, is kind of irrelevant to this, but the pick is in my hand, sitting on top of my stacked fingers with my thumb holding it in place. When I think of it this way, it's easier to see the pick as an extension of my thumb rather than something I'm trying to hold. So strumming a downstroke is pushing my thumb towards the floor, but it's not straight down. And when I say pushing my thumb, what I really mean is I am leading the movement from out here. The first thing that moves is my hand, and the whole rest of the mechanism follows. You can play with this by just muffling your strings or playing an open chord, resting your pick on the sixth string, and first of all, just dragging it. So when I say drag it, I mean that the flat surface of the pick is rolling off the rounded surface of the string, and that I can feel that happening as I glide from here to here. And I can feel the weight of my arm balancing on each string. So I'm thinking about the direction, I'm thinking about where I'm aiming. Arguably, there's almost a diagonal in like this, especially if I play, say, a rest stroke, where I rest the pick on the next string. But a strum means you're going to glide through. So when you go from this to doing it in one movement, you should still be able to feel click, 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 click as the pick contacts each string. But we're not just swinging the arm towards the floor like this, or pushing, because you can't feel each string if you do this. Now, there is certainly a place for a chop, an aggressive, fast strum where I want to hear basically one sound. But even that is not a bicep-driven. I'm not doing curls here. That movement is not being driven by these muscles up here. That movement is being driven by leading from the fingertips, a rotation of the thumb that dips towards the floor, and some degree of follow-through, so that if I start with the pick oriented this way, I'm going to end up with it oriented that way. So that means that the strumming move, whether it's this or this, is really not a straight line. This is closer to a straight line. The arc is not as deep as if I'm swinging like this. If I'm, say, staying over the strings and doing something, then that arc is about that deep. If I am doing a bigger, louder strum, that arc is a lot more narrow, but it's still maybe not a semicircle, but it's definitely not a straight line. The short story is that as you move around, your hand is navigating up and down the neck along this, let's call it a horizontal plane, but your hand should also be moving in space, because depending on what you're trying to grab, your hand needs to be oriented differently to play this chord than to play this one. So again, moving in 3 dimensions, not straight lines, but arcs and circles. If this feels cosmic to you, I would say you just need to pay closer attention to where your guitar actually is, and I don't know that there's anything much more concrete than that.